Or now I can just... Nice job, high forward.
One shot, one kill. Ronnie did.
Now introducing your Butthole Podcast. Scott, the Great Brandino, Gage's Rage, and Star Lamar.
What's up, girl?
I love the butthole.
Who doesn't love the butthole? And welcome into the official Butthole Mock Draft 4.0, the final mock draft as we get ready for the NFL draft on Thursday night. This is the going home episode of the Butthole Podcast, and we're excited as hell to welcome you guys into this episode where we do the final mock draft before the NFL draft on Thursday night.
No one knows what going home episode means.
Yeah, it's the going home episode.
You just made that shit up like 3 seconds ago.
Of course I did.
And we all said, I don't know what that is. And you just went with it anyway.
Yeah, of course I did.
If you say it with enough conviction, it'll work.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, most people, if you say something with
Say it with your chest.
Fuck, it might work.
I thought going with the final mock draft.
It's the final
mock draft.
Can you get copyrighted shit for singing?
This is
I'm sure you-
our creative genius on that. No
Yeah.
way.
We can just be Vanilla Ice and say it wasn't exactly the same.
When the falsetto is off that bad, you're not
Yeah.
getting
The
copyrighted.
only
for
reason
shit.
that would get copywritten is because it's fucking better than the original.
Yeah, they're pissed.
Hey, can we have a moment of silence for that intro?
Yeah.
There may be something getting worked on for future podcasts.
For
It's
Thursday
in the
night.
works.
That
It's in
may
the
be the
works.
last time that intro gets used. So let's have a short moment of silence, please.
All right, that's enough.
It's never enough.
I know. That was a really good intro. It's going to be a coming of age for the butthole. We definitely got something good in the works. So
I think we can tease it because it's far enough along and it'll be finished. But Thursday, when we go live to cover night one of the NFL draft, we will have a new intro video. It's
gonna
and
be
we're
there.
very excited about it.
first turn of the draft, new butthole intro. A lot of good stuff happening Thursday.
All the references we've ever made through the 200 and some episodes of this podcast that we've done will be on full display in that intro.
So make sure to listen to all 200 of them. So
We're
you're not
going deep.
out of the loop.
What are we on now? 220?
Sure.
Scott,
It's your only
one
job.
fucking
Scott.
job.
Here, I'll get it. I'll get it
It's
for
the
you.
only reason
my
he's
God.
here
Son of a
every
bitch.
week.
I
you
swear,
keep track of how many podcasts we've done.
without Scott, it would just go seamlessly. There's no
222.
okay. 222.
That
Deuce.
felt right.
Deuces, baby.
I'll forget by next week. So
Tyreek Hill.
Gage, you want to hear something that's going to rock your socks?
Let's hear it.
My son was born on 4/7 at 7:04.
Ooh. All right. All right.
what does
thought
that
that-
mean?
I'm
I'm
I don't
looking
know.
at Gage. There's got to be something. Is it a rip in the time force, or
4 and 7.
you have to have some
7-Eleven?
kind of conspiracy? Oh, 7-Eleven. Are we just naming
4
times
plus
now?
7 is 11. 4,
8,
7, 11.
16.
That is true.
24/7. No, I can't.
24/7,
365.
No
He's
rip.
going to be a running back.
He could be. He could be. Gage likes numbers and weird coincidences, so I thought he'd like that.
You know who else is number 7?
Patrick Peterson.
Minnesota's own Patrick Peterson, one of the first players to take a single-digit number.
It's easy for him because he doesn't have to buy out any jerseys, right? There is no Vikings Peterson's jerseys yet, so
Which is
No,
just kind of
seventh,
it's a
isn't it?
dumb.
That's
Dumb
why he
rule.
did it. That's why he did it. He is donating though to Nate Stanley's high school shoulder pads. That was the trade off because Nate Stanley was number 7.
Oh,
Soon to be, might add, soon to be cut. Nate Stanley.
who knows?
He'll be
Soon
cut.
to be the backup Minnesota Viking Nate Stanley.
If we'll get into this.
Do we still have
Let's
the
sorry.
Washington quarterback?
No,
Talking about
Heineke
Browning?
got signed by them.
Browning.
Browning. Yeah, we still
backup
have him
players
on
are not what
roster.
we're
Yeah.
here for tonight. We are here for the mock draft 4.0 of the butthole.
So it's possible we have a new quarterback on roster.
You guys, it's the going home episode.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Why?
This
Because
is
we're
the
going
episode
home?
where it's the going home episode. It's one episode before we go home to the Thursday night when we have the live NFL draft coverage. Butthole's covering the draft for the Blue Collar Media Group. It's
Yes,
happening
sir.
Thursday night. We're going to have awesome giveaways.
Yes, sir.
You might be able to go to a game of your favorite team this fall,
2 tickets to a game of your choice.
Bring a date with you.
paid for by the Blue Collar Media Group.
Keep
I don't know.
interested if you want
Sick.
maybe a football jersey or 3
Oh, man, 3?
or 2, probably just 2. Well, our giving away is more than 3 gift cards, right?
Sure.
So, yeah.
I think we got a whole bunch of stuff. And Madden, right? We're all big. 3 out of the 4 of us are big fans
I
of Madden.
think after what happened this past weekend, Gage and Star would probably give their own copies of Madden away.
Yeah, there might be a couple extras. I'm done with Madden 21, so no.
But yeah,
What
so we're
kind
going to get into the final mock draft. We've all now, after this mock draft's over, we'll all have picked in different places. Tonight, pick 1 is
Me.
the great Brandino. Pick number 2 is
Gage's Rage.
pick number 3 is Stallamore.
Holla at you, girl.
And I'll be taking up the rear with pick number 4.
Give him a sup, girl.
So, girl.
And just to keep you
I'm
guys
wet.
all in the loop,
We got more viewers now.
trades will
it
be
just went
on.
down. Oh, fuck. Wasn't bad. It's like watching Dogecoin.
Star's fault.
Trades will be on for this mock draft. So if you have something that you think should be done in the drop a chat comment in whatever platform you're watching on, and we'll give our 2 cents on whether or not that trade would be made.
And now, if you were mad at the pick Gage made last week for your team, he's no longer picking for them. So
That's true.
maybe the guy that likes Green Bay that called Gage an idiot will call another one of us an idiot because
Definitely will.
none of us are going to pick a good player.
He's
for
going to be very
Green Bay.
pissed when I take the number 7 kicker on the board with Green Bay's pick.
That's a solid pick at number 1.
Yes.
Crosby is coming down to the end of his career.
He's on his last leg.
Nothing better than developmental kickers in the first round. All right, here we go.
Trades will be happening. As always, we're going to be using the Draft Network. We are not sponsored by them, but they're awesome. So go check them out. It's where we do all our mock drafts.
Pretty
Up
sweet
here on the
platform.
screen. If you get their pro version, you can do the trades. Otherwise, you just get the regular mock.
But buy the pro version. They're worth supporting.
Definitely. So kicking it off here, pick number 1, numero uno. There's been some chatter. Justin Fields, some bets going on in Vegas for Fields. The hype is starting to pick up a little bit, but we're not falling for it. We're going to stick with our number 1 pick, Trevor Lawrence. Welcome to the squad. Sunshine, we're happy to have you. That flow is going to fit well in Jacksonville.
It's an awesome fit. I think the only thing more guaranteed is another skill position player in the top 5. With the number 2 pick, the New York Jets are definitely looking at quarterback. I think the closer and closer it gets, the more smoke screens we're going to see. So as the GM of the Jets, Gage's Rage is going to select Zach Wilson. I
Those
think
are
he's
those are the 2 most like lockdown.
with a bullet.
Yeah,
Which is kind of dumb. Zach Wilson's going to be a bust.
yeah, he is.
But
for
beyond
sure.
that,
It
Well,
fits in New York, man. That's what we want in New York.
Statistically, there's going to be probably 3 of these top 5 that aren't going to pan out as
The Jets
quarterbacks.
The Jets couldn't stay true to form in drafting a quarterback every 4th year if they drafted a success here this year. So they got to draft a bust, then they'll be able to draft another quarterback in 4 years and get excited about him.
I think they're the first team to draft a quarterback in the top 3 picks in like a 4-year, 5-year span or something like that in NFL
I
history.
don't doubt it.
Not
And
surprising
another
at all.
fun fact, actually, Jacksonville, it's their first time ever having a number 1 overall pick.
really.
Yep. There's only 4 teams in the NFL who've never picked number 1. 3 after this year.
Vikings are one, aren't they?
I don't believe so. Not according to the YouTube documentary I watched today.
Got it. Well,
I don't remember who they
Jacksonville
are.
Yearly picks in the top 5, just never number 1.
Yes, that's what it was.
And this is where the draft starts to get interesting. There's a lot of rumors
Yes.
floating around regarding this pick right here.
So I'm going to use this mock draft, to not do what I would want to do, but what I think the team's going to want to do. They traded up. They're going to take quarterback. For some unknown goddamn reason other than smokescreen, they took Justin Fields off their board, and they're going between Trey Lance and Mac Jones.
Did they, though?
That's what they said.
Yeah, but did they really, though? They went to his second pro day.
This was just like yesterday
I know.
that came out.
I know.
So.
Right now is a lot of fake news in the NFL
No.
draft.
I wouldn't trust anything you've heard in the last 3-4 weeks.
3-4 years.
No team can be trusted until their pick is official.
Of the 2 left on their board, according to reports, I don't think you mortgage a future for a guy like Trey Lance, who's such a big question mark at this point in his career. So I'm going to go with Mac Jones. It doesn't make sense to me that they'd trade up to top 3 and 2 future first-round picks for him. He's probably getting downgraded offensive talent around him than he's played with at Alabama. So we'll see how he plays with lesser talent in San Francisco. But that's who I'm going with at number 3.
From what I've heard, Shanahan is looking for a quarterback that fits his system, not a quarterback that he wants to fit his system around. So I think that's kind of the reason they've been talking Mac Jones, because he's more of a Jimmy Garoppolo, which fits his system as long as he's healthy, which has been his major issue.
Kirk Cousins fits his system.
He wanted Kirk, though.
Yeah, give us 3.
Somebody
I'll
was
give Kirk for 3 in a second.
He was getting bashed on Twitter by somebody saying he didn't draft Mahomes or Watson because he wanted Kirk Cousins, and that didn't work out.
Yeah, okay. It's good because you knew that at the time that Watson and Mahomes would become what they are.
Yeah, there was 10 teams that passed.
And
the
thing that I don't understand.
Solomon Thomas is a stud.
The thing that I don't understand regarding Kyle Shanahan is he doesn't exactly draft quarterbacks that would be a good fit in his system from what most people would say. You would think he would want somebody with some mobility.
I just want to go back to the comment I made since no one reacted. That was sarcasm.
No, I know it was, but I just didn't give you the reaction because I know
I
you
just
were
didn't
looking
want to
for it.
lose credibility for people. Did he just say Solomon Thomas is a stud? And Scott just said, yeah, but. And
Yeah,
continued.
I wanted to leave you to hang out to dry there.
I just, for my credibility, I had to correct that.
Yes, Star's credibility is what we're here to preserve. So here we go. Pick number 4. This is when the draft starts to get interesting. I personally don't think if the first 3 picks go this way, Atlanta's going to be taking a lot of phone calls. I think they're pretty set with who they want here, and the guy that they want is Kyle Pitts at tight end. They're going to add him into that offense. They're looking to move Julio Jones, and it makes a lot of sense that they would trade Julio if they draft Kyle Pitts.
Would you not say that it would make more sense for them to take a project quarterback if they're planning on moving on from Julio?
This is the thing. Matt Ryan is 36, I think.
Yep, he'll be 37, I think. Well,
He'll
be 36 before the season starts.
So if they get out of Matt Ryan what they still think that they might, he's still got 3 or 4 years left. You don't want to burn 3 or 4 years on a rookie quarterback. I'm going
Do
Kyle
like a new
Pitts.
coach, though.
is he going to be on that team for 3 or 4 years?
I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Is he going to be productive for 3 or 4 years? Not every quarterback can make it to 40 and still be a productive quarterback.
And what
That's
are they
true.
getting for Julio, you think?
I don't think they're going to get much more than a second for him. He's got a big contract, and he's due a lot of money in the next 3 years.
He's
can't.
old.
But they also can't trade him before June 1st, so it will not be done for this draft. I'm going Kyle Pitts at pick 4. He's going to Atlanta, and Atlanta's very excited about it.
Do you think there's an opportunity for them to trade out?
Yeah, I think they would listen to phone calls, but if you're New England here, you're not jumping from 15 to 4. You're giving up way too much to do that. One team I thought would be possibly an option before they signed Darnold would be Carolina. I just don't see a team jumping up that far.
What about
Washington's not going to be able to move up that far.
The Broncos?
I don't think the Broncos are going to trade the house either to get up and get a quarterback. I think what's going to happen here is the draft is going to get interesting on Thursday night at pick 7. When Detroit's up, it's going to get interesting because the head of the scouting department in Detroit right now, we'll get to that when we go to Detroit's pick. We'll sit on Cincinnati for now.
All right, we're up at the Bengals, and I'm sitting here with Zach Taylor side by side, and we just saw a meme going around that said, tell me who the Bengals are going to draft without telling me who the Bengals are going to draft. And all we saw was a big picture of a scar going down Joe Burrow's knee. And the only way you're going to keep your franchise quarterback upright is if you're going to draft somebody to protect him. I know I've quoted The Blind Side a ton of times, and that lady said something along the lines of like, the biggest purchase you're going to make is the house. The next is the insurance. You're going to insure Joe Burrow. We are drafting Christian Darrisaw. No, we're Penei Sewell going 5 to the Bengals. It's a no-brainer pick.
Absolutely. So I guess right here, if we lose our own Kyle Pitts, I think Miami was all in on him. I would be fielding calls if anyone wanted to jump a team that is absolutely bulletproof for trading out in the Detroit Lions. If, maybe...
Well, does Miami want to drop back all the way to 15? New England, in my opinion, is the prime candidate to move up.
To trade up.
Denver might move up a couple spots here, but
I could see Denver moving up to 6. I don't know if
Pull it
I'm the
up.
Broncos right now, if I'm feeling like I want to trade up to 6 to get them, especially since I know New England probably isn't going to do it. Looking at these other teams, I don't really see anybody outside of maybe Oakland, possibly. The football team might do it. but I think that 16 to 20 range is going to be
Where a
long
lot
jump.
of the action will be.
Yeah, because these guys, I mean, they want to get a playmaker too. So they don't want to move back that far. But if we are, let's say the Broncos do want to make a trade up there, and they're going to be trading with...
Nope, swap it around. Make Denver the top team.
Hmm?
Make Denver the top team because they're the team that's going to be offering the deal.
Okay, so I'm offering it to...
No, switch it around. Make Denver the team on top
He's already got Denver selected.
and make Miami the team on bottom. Yeah, but we went into this making the deal that we were going to make the team trying to move up, make them the trading team.
Picks you are receiving.
Make Miami the bottom team. Click on Miami on the bottom. On the bottom.
Good thing we're getting these kinks out prior to Thursday.
Jesus Christ.
This is
On the
coming
top,
home.
click Denver, and on the bottom, click Miami.
He had it
Hey.
right the first time.
No, you didn't.
Confused him with all
No,
your
he did not.
words, man.
He had Denver selected on the bottom.
But it's just going to go through if they accept it, doesn't it? You can't see if they'd accept it.
It shows
It does
acceptance.
show you the offer of
so
acceptance on the
1 to
bottom.
9. We'd probably have to give up next year's first for it too. So they would do that.
Yes.
And I don't know if I want to.
I don't think Denver's doing that,
I'm
honestly.
I'm not making that offer.
You're not making it?
Nope.
All right.
How do you go back?
Just hide it.
Hide.
So,
I'm
as
not
the
making
Miami
that offer,
Dolphins, I couldn't get anyone to bite on it. I'm definitely looking at a playmaker, a wide receiver, someone who's got a lot of pop in their step.
We do have Alex asking about Drew Lock.
Lock's not valuable enough, in my opinion, to send him to Miami.
No, they
Yeah.
have a quarterback.
Miami's got no interest in Locke either.
I do think that the Broncos are looking to find somebody. If they're drafting that high, he's going to be the eventual starter, but to give competition to Drew Lock versus trying to get rid of him and just moving along with this guy.
He's not expensive.
Right.
He's a second-round pick on his rookie contract.
That's a good question, though, Alex.
And maybe they could add a right-handed guy to the repertoire. But we're going to take a playmaker. We're going to add Jamar Chase. Dude, lefties are tough. It's a different spin on the ball. There's a lot of physics to the game. I don't expect you guys to understand.
We'll leave physics to Gage's rage here.
Jamar Chase. All
Jamar
right,
Chase is
go
the
with
Miami
6.
Dolphins pick. Couldn't get anyone to bite on the number 6 pick. Jump the Lions.
See,
So
that's
is
why
this the first spot where trades are made? I was saying with Detroit earlier, the head of Detroit scouting department was the head of the Rams scouting department when they drafted Jared Goff first, which leads a lot of people to believe that Detroit's not in the market for a quarterback here.
And I also don't believe they're in the market for a quarterback. They might be a trade down candidate. They have a lot of holes on their team. But there's one player on there that I think could potentially become the top player in the league at its position eventually. And you have an expensive quarterback. Now you need to get another guy who can protect him. I quote the movie The Blind Side all the time. And they say, at first, blah, blah, bullshit. I'm taking Rashawn Slater, number 7, to the Detroit Lions.
Not a sexy pick, but a necessary pick if you're trying
Yeah.
to figure out what Jared Goff is.
They have Taylor Decker still, I believe.
Yeah, and they also have, who's the guy at Ragnow? Frank Ragnow.
Right now.
They have a nice
That's
offensive
center,
line.
yeah.
Yep.
So build that up.
Yep.
They've invested a lot into the running back position over the last several drafts.
Gage, why are you not more fired up about the inaccurate quote of that movie?
I honestly haven't seen that movie in a long time. So.
Gage, why aren't you more fired up about them getting your fantasy asset, DeAndre Swift, another offensive lineman to block for him?
I would love that, honestly.
It was more for
Personally,
carry on
couldn't-
than Swift. But
I got them both. Thank you.
Handcuffs, bitches, handcuffs.
Handcuffs matter in fantasy.
Gage is all
Don't
about
you
handcuffs
forget it.
in fantasy, in the bedroom. He loves handcuffs.
Wide receivers. Those were both fantasy, in case you didn't know. Star.
the wide receivers deep this draft. That's why they can lay off of it for the first round.
Fair enough.
So this brings us now to Carolina at pick 8. Carolina's sitting there like son of a bee. Why did we even trade for Darnold? We got 2 beautiful quarterback prospects sitting right here. We need to build out our defense a little bit. We need to get the weakest spot that Carolina has on their whole team, in my opinion, right now is left tackle. They like their right tackle, Moton. Their interior of their offensive line is pretty decent. I think I'm leaning here towards them drafting Christian Darrisaw at pick number 8, and that's going to send an absolute shockwave down the Minnesota fan base.
Is that final?
That's locked in, Christian Darrisaw.
I do like that pick. They need to solidify that line, give Sam Darnold some protection, Christian McCaffrey a little bit easier to make some running lanes, help that offense out. I think
And this really shows how runs work in the NFL draft because
Yes, it does.
we have had multiple mocks where an offensive line doesn't go to pick 10. And now we have 3 in the top 10 this year. So
That's the
this
highest
week.
I think I've seen Darrisaw go, too.
Yeah.
But
It's quite interesting when you watch our mock drafts how the dynamic shifts when you just change up who's picking where.
For sure.
All it takes is 1 or 2 players to go earlier or later than expected. Changes the entire dynamic of the draft.
Well, yeah, and we have Trey Lance and Justin Fields still sitting there on
Which
the board.
I think is entirely possible come draft night. Everybody thinks,
Absolutely.
oh, these quarterbacks are all going. Let's not forget these position players that are being drafted. They're all highly rated players. They're good, solid players. And not every team in the top 10 necessarily needs a quarterback.
Andrew thinks Denver's a lock to go to Trey Lance. He thinks Lock is horrendous.
Should we let a listener make this pick then?
nah, I'm gonna take it. Sorry, Andrew. We do appreciate it, though. And who knows? I might go with Trey Lance, too. I am an NDSU alumni. I do have a soft spot for
Realistically
NDSU
here,
players.
though, Mr. GM of Denver, if these two quarterbacks
George
are here,
Patton.
who are they more likely to draft?
I think I'm going to go with Justin Fields. And the reason for that is Elway has had some issues with quarterbacks. He's tried to get it through free agency. He's tried to get them through drafting, and it just hasn't worked out. Peyton Manning was really the only hit, and that was led more by the defense than it was by Peyton Manning. So I think he's going to go with a guy that's got a little bit more experience, a little bit more proven. Although I do think Lance has the intangibles to be a better quarterback than Justin Fields, I don't think that John Elway has the ability to sit here and fail on another quarterback like that.
Let's remember, too, though, that the last 2 quarterbacks picked by Denver was Paxton Lynch and Drew Lock, right?
Snuck back.
Both
into
were
the first.
looked at a little bit as projects, but high potential. Trey Lance fits that exact mold. Justin Fields is a much more NFL ready than those 2 quarterbacks were when they were drafted.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it could go either way with him, but I do think Fields is going to be the pick here.
And this brings up Dallas, and Jerry Jones is just fuming in the draft room knowing that Kyle Pitts was taken and he's not available for him. So he's probably just going to panic and draft Trey Lance. Here we go.
Gage, best Jerry Jones impression.
Give him the damn ball. I don't know what Jerry sounds like, but I bet he's pissed at someone at all times. And
That's what he's been saying, Zeke's Holker. Give him the damn ball.
honestly, I think you're totally wrong. I think he loves the way this board shook out.
Oh.
He would love to add an aggressive playmaking tight end. That's what they like down in Dallas. But they also like really good playmakers on both sides of the ball. And I think they're going to get the best cornerback out of this draft, without a doubt. Patrick Surtain, the second. He's got a lot of repertoire, a lot of familiarity with the pro system. I think it's a hit. I think Dallas fans all over the place
Wet
are
dreams.
dreaming about that scenario, and that shook out perfect for him. So
So I know it's in division here, but you want to check to see if New York would take 19, a 2 this year and a 2 next year for that pick.
I'm sure they would, but let's take a look.
interdivisional trade.
Now, Scott, top or bottom? Who am I picking?
Well,
Pick the Broncos on the top.
I always prefer top. Washington on the
No,
top.
the top.
There you go. You son of a bitch. You fucking you failed
You said
hard.
Washington
last time.
on the top.
Yeah, Washington on the top.
God damn.
It's not that hard. You just got to
No,
listen,
Giants.
bro. All right, here we go. So Washington's
Not
offering 19. No.
Giants.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what I'm doing. All right.
Yeah.
A
of
second
course
this
you
year
do.
and a second next year.
No, Washington would
Washington's
have.
trading up.
We're going to change who's running the board here for Thursday night. This is why we do these. Zero chance they're interested in that.
Really?
You give a future
Woo!
first and drop the future second.
I guarantee you, it's just because they're interdivisional.
Try it for a second as
Interdivisional.
well.
It's not happening. They
Yeah.
will not trade between divisions.
It is because
not
it's
happening.
interdivisional.
And there's 3. It's Dallas,
It
New
don't
York,
even
and
matter.
Philly right in a row.
You could give them every pick for 5 years. They're not taking it.
This is really realistic, though. This
They would
shows
never trade with their division.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
Apparently,
happen.
that is not happening.
You could do their next 5 first-round picks. They ain't taking it.
Wow, they'd be
Well-
stupid not to do that.
They wouldn't do it, though.
No, I know they wouldn't. Well, that's puts Washington in a bit of a conundrum.
No, Washington just has to wait for what's theirs.
So some issues is an understatement. When did we say some issues?
It was a long time ago.
Might have been about John Elway.
Yeah, Paul, I got your back. Don't worry.
So bring me back that board, please.
Pull me up that draft board, motherfucker.
Draft board is
If
back.
I can't move up to grab a quarterback with one of my other teams for at least a couple picks here, it just sucks because New York really wants pass rush, and this is pretty high to go pass rush right here.
Yeah, but they also really want wide receivers, and there's two of them sitting there staring them in the face.
They invested a lot in wide receiver already.
Yeah, but
So
what
deep.
better to help?
And
What better way to tell if Daniel Jones is
Jones.
it or not by getting him some more weapons?
you got the tight end, you got your running back.
I'm not going to tell you how to draft.
I agree.
But-
This would be a good spot for New York to try and trade down. Apparently, it's just not going to be with Washington.
Micah Parsons,
Yeah, I like Micah
I do
Parsons
like
as an
him
option there.
he's a knee biter.
I like the Micah Parsons pick. That's not a bad idea.
I mean, that I do believe the best cornerback is still on the board.
You think you like J.C. Horn more?
No.
Farley.
I think I'm going to go with Micah Parsons. I watched him. He's a good bowler. He was on Hey Rookie, Welcome to the NFL. He's a competitive guy.
They need some help at the linebacker position there.
In reality, I think they try to move down and get edge rusher more in that 18, 19, 20 range.
Yeah, you could maybe see one of those teams moving up. Maybe New England moves up from 15.
With Trey Lance still on the board.
Yep.
I have New England too, but I wanted Trey Lance to go to Washington.
So
you're not gonna
this
take him.
pulls up now Philly. And I think you might be in a situation here where the Eagles might be looking to move down as well. The Eagles, there's two wide receivers left.
Nobody wants their spot.
Pull up a trade between New
Are you
England and Philly.
You sure you want me to do this?
I think a trade's going to get done
All
here.
right.
Who's on top?
New England would be
New England will be
offering-
offering the deal. Yep.
I'm getting the hang of this. All you had to do is not be a
Wouldn't
dick.
I, as New
no,
England,
I think the reason you're getting the hang is because I was being a dick.
Good
Huh?
luck with that.
I said, wouldn't I, as New England, have to agree on this deal too?
Yeah.
Sure, we'll run it by you.
So I think they're going to give up. Try the same thing Star was offering: a first and a second this year and a second next year.
Looks like they would take a first and a second in a heartbeat.
Star Lamar, would you give up a first and 2 seconds for Trey Lance?
No,
No.
he's not a Patriot.
Okay.
Let's not forget you're just moving up 3 spots here. So I think
Yeah,
a first
suppose
and a
value-
third, maybe a future fifth would be more realistic for 3 spots. 15 to 12.
I would agree. Even a first and a third. I think the discrepancy between 12 and 15, when we looked last week, it's only like 100 points. And a
So-
third round pick, a
And
late
actually,
third
with
is like
3
100.
fourths, they're way more likely to trade one of those fourths. Let's see if one of those goes through instead.
You know,
Star still has to agree with it, but yeah, that's not as likely. Maybe 2 fourths and you could get it done, but 1/4 probably wouldn't get the trick.
the Star giving up 2 fourths and a first to move up and get Trey Lance.
No, I like the way the board's sitting for the Patriots right now.
The Philadelphia Eagles with pick number 12 after trying to trade with Star Lamar, who plays fucking hardball. They are going to draft,
He's just going to trade back and get him anyways.
The Patriots, they're not a trade-up team.
but they are this
They've, like,
year
never
because they
been
need
trade
a
up team.
quarterback, and that's what they need. Here we go. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to draft Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama.
I think you're sleeping on the Minnesota Vikings, to tell you the truth. I maybe should have played that a little harder.
Why would the Vikings be trading up right now?
Kirk Cousins is absolutely not our guy.
You think the Vikings would trade up and give up more assets?
Well,
to
no,
get Trey
you got to
Lance?
get past me at 14, though, dog.
Oh, you're saying for just a straight up picking Trey Lance?
You're
It's always-
wearing
who's
the
got-
Purple Pride shirts right now. We know who you're taking.
Who's got the
Purple
Chargers?
Pride, Purple
I
Pride.
have the Chargers.
You have the Chargers?
Yep.
And this is
What
where
do you think about
I got started in the hot
19.
seat now. You thought Lance is just going to fall.
About 19. Yeah, I would definitely be open to moving back. to
moving
19.
back? You know, offensive tackles are off the board.
There's
Obviously,
not
your
though.
biggest
There's
need.
still OTs on the board.
Yeah, but
There's
I can
going
get
to be
them at
them
19
too.
Yeah,
with what
definitely.
the people are
No,
doing.
that's what I'm saying. Is the Chargers would probably love to move back and get
Yeah.
some more assets.
Absolutely.
So
So,
I'll start with
Oh, my God.
19 and a third this year.
Wait, so who goes on top?
I do.
Oh yeah.
all right. And who are we trading with? Who the fuck am I? I'm the Chargers.
Chargers.
All
Who the
right.
fuck am I?
Why am I even running this? So a third,
My higher third.
No, they're gonna have to
74.
They're gonna have to give up
And
more.
a 2
dude.
next year.
That's 6 spots, bro.
Six
That's
spot.
a done deal. I would make
Yeah.
that trade if I'm both teams.
Deal.
Yen?
Let's do it.
It's
Boom.
official.
I kinda
Sorry, Fitzpatrick.
It's not though. This is the perfect situation for Fitzpatrick to start and then get benched again for another rookie quarterback.
This is really great.
Story of his career.
Let me ask you this though: does New England truly let this happen?
New England they're not a panicky team. Bill Belichick's never done anything out of panic.
Okay, that's fine. I just know that the hot rumor is New England's in the market for a quarterback, and if there's only one of those 5 sitting on the board at pick 11, 12, 13, I think New England would move up.
With 3 fourth-round picks, I think you're on to something.
Where the hell's the general? He should give us his insight here.
Trey Lance is going to the WFT.
It's a really good landing spot there, in my opinion. He's got some similar characteristics to Cam Newton, the ability to run. He's got a big arm. He's going to be a rookie quarterback, so he's going to have that small contract.
Wait, what was given up?
It was a third and next year's second, I believe. 74 and whatever next year's second will be. Plus, on top of that, they're going to have that money for a couple of years to keep that defense, get a couple more playmakers, keep Terry McLaurin, and try to keep that team more solid on defense with a serviceable quarterback versus paying high for one.
That's a very sneaky move as well for the Chargers.
And as long as the Cowboys are still in the NFC East, the Washington football team has a chance to be dominant for the next 10 years.
That is true.
Very fair. Very fair.
So that brings us now to pick 14, and the Vikings' dreams of drafting Trey Lance, the Minnesota-born kid,
torch
are
straight in
dead.
front of my eyes.
And quite honestly, boys, if
I would have done it.
if this is how the draft board falls on Thursday night, and we're sitting there at pick 14 with these players available and those players off the board, I'm going to be panic eating.
It's bad. It's very, very bad.
You're
And
not gonna be-
honestly,
Like having a drink to calm the nerves or
No,
anything?
I'm going to be panic eating.
Oh, because you got to stay sharp, don't you? All right.
yeah, we're going to be panic chugging, but you can eat what you want. What Minnesota has here is the worst case Ontario. This is very horrible. I think I am trying my best to talk Mike Zimmer
Canada.
into not drafting a cornerback here, but he's looking at me like, eh.
Well, who was it? Was it Gladney? He's the one who got in trouble?
Yeah. Which it was quiet. It was like
Over
one
the
day.
weekend?
No,
This was like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
but then we haven't heard anything of it. So
But
maybe they're just trying to
still-
like hush, sweep it under the rug and like,
Play.
yeah, let them play.
So we could definitely have a reach here.
Do you think the Vikings are candidate to trade back?
I'd feel the trade right now. I really don't like this board. If there's anyone who wants to move up, I will field an offer.
What do you pick? You pick 2?
Yep.
I got
So I got Miami, got Tennessee, but
how far back are you willing to move? 23?
There's one.
Is that too far?
You'd have to offer a lot with the Jets. Who do the Jets have on the offensive line?
You're not getting Becton. That's the only guy that you'd want on their offensive
yeah.
line.
Who's the Titans pick?
That's my pick as well.
I think the Titans would move up. I think the Titans
Take
are
one of those
hardcore.
cornerbacks?
No, in an edge situation.
Ooh.
There's still going to be edge rushers for the Vikings there at 22.
Yep. Or
gonna
they
have
could
some
get one of their
opportunity.
offensive linemen that are more versatile.
So what do I pick 17, 19, and 21. So I have the Colts. So I still have the Chargers from earlier.
Yeah.
Well, do the Chargers trade right back up?
This is a bad spot to
No.
be in because, quite
It's
honestly,
horrible.
I'm a little panicked right now.
If I
have
who's
to
on the
make a
board.
pick, it's a cornerback, but I don't want to do that. I want an offensive line.
Well, this is my problem I'm having right now, too. I don't see a team right now that's ready to trade up and grab one of these. Maybe Devonta Smith.
That's who I was looking at.
And who would be the team to do it? Chicago, maybe? I don't
But
think
no
so.
way Minnesota trades with Chicago.
My-
Not
What is-
happening.
The deal with AVT, that he's ranked way lower than he was in past.
This is
Draft
just
Network
the
boards.
Draft Network's board.
They updated
Yeah.
daily, or
Yeah. And
So
I don't think it's fair, quite frankly. I think Elijah Vera Tucker should be a top 12 prospect.
yeah.
Honestly, we'll unveil my top 100 later
Me too,
tonight.
Alex.
Yeah, it's going to be happening regardless. But if this board looks this way, Hammer City.
If
Very
this
bad.
is I'm going to be unveiling my top 100 later tonight, and in my top 100, Elijah Vera Tucker, I think I have second behind Penny Sewell and above Rashawn Slater.
So, yeah, okay. We got to go offensive. Like,
This
there's
is brutal.
no way I could take anything but an offensive lineman.
There's a lot of players.
I know
available.
there's a lot there. What?
I got an idea. What if the Raiders moved up from 17 to 14 because the Raiders want Devonta Smith?
I don't know if we do. I would go defense over offense.
Yeah, but
in my
Chucky's
opinion.
Chucky's sketchy.
Back-to-back
I would
Alabama wide receivers in the first round.
I have a guy I would
Ooh.
trade up to get, but I don't know if I want to give up as much as I would have to get him. I don't know. What would you
Or how
take
about this?
a
What if-
first and a fourth this year?
That
No.
first and a fourth round pick?
From the Raiders for
For
4
3
spots?
spots?
No,
4 spots?
no, that's not enough. The Vikings are only moving back if they're getting that second back. That's my opinion.
It's only 3 spots. I could see, like, with the Tennessee trade, something like that going
How
down.
about the Colts? Is there a chance the Colts would maybe move up for Devonta Smith?
No, we don't want Smith. But you know what? I will make an offer from the Colts. So
Okay, I'll field it.
you're Minnesota.
If you send me Xavier Rhodes, I'm going to
Other way around, brother.
This is fucking stupid.
Do they still have Xavier?
No.
Yeah,
Or-
they
yeah,
are.
th- no, sorry, they
He
do.
re-signed.
Xavier Rhodes, yeah, they have.
No, I'm the Colts. That's what I am. All right. So I'm going to offer you my first for your first.
All right.
We don't have a third. Well, that kind of blows. I don't think.
Damn, they're desperate on
Well,
picks,
have
too.
the Vikings load it with a couple
Yeah,
of their
see, a
middle
first and
round
a
picks.
first and a fourth. So
I wouldn't take that to move 8
I'd
spots.
give you my second, and I would get back your third.
My later third.
Yeah, and I think the purple do that.
I would take that. Trade a third to get a second,
Yeah.
upgrade, and then we get a much better board.
Yep.
Deal. All right. The Colts are happy to
Whew.
move up.
All right, chill out,
Assuming that-
Vikings fans. We're making
So what
moves.
was the trade?
The Colts move up from 21 to 14.
And there's a
Vikings
1
drop
and a
back,
2.
and there's a third. The Vikings pick 90 is traded for the Colts pick 58, I believe. Second
Yes.
rounder.
Yep.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. Not because Scott said he's the second best player, but because Elijah Vera Tucker is a very good tackle. We need a left tackle after Anthony Costanza decided to retire this year. We need somebody to help shore up that offensive line, keep it as dominant as it's been. So AVT is coming to the Colts at 14. A little bit of a surprise move, but there are teams ahead of us that I do think would need a tackle. I think the Raiders, I think the Cardinals.
That's
I just
actually a
got
sneaky
fleeced right
move.
there. I just got fleeced. I
That's
should've
a
taken
sneaky move right there because
him. Vera
the
Tucker's not a
Vikings-
bad player.
No, he's not.
the Vikings' thought on moving back, I think, is okay, we're going to move back and we're still going to get our edge rusher or our tackle.
Yep.
And now, I don't love any of the rest of these tackles, honestly. I don't love any of
I
them.
feel bad for what I did to you, but I had to move up. And it's not like you can't get a decent tackle with 54. Radunes is still going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
You might be able to get Tevin Jenkins at
Michigan
54. Jalen Mayfield could be there. Samuel Cosme. Like, there's still some guys that you can get that would fill in that role.
I think in my top 100, I have 13 or 14 offensive tackles.
So you can get somebody with one of those thirds.
Third-round
yeah,
picks, yeah.
absolutely.
Or the second.
All right. So up next, Star Lamar, 15, the Patriots. Who are you going to be taking?
They do get Donta Hightower back. It says linebacker is in need. I think this might be where he goes.
How far could the Vikings move up with the first and 2/3? I think the Vikings could get from about 14 to, I think they could get around 10, 11 or
Maybe.
10 if they gave up both thirds and a first.
I
Crack
think-
the top 10?
No,
I think we could get to like 8, 9.
I think they could get 9.
The I don't know.
I'll pull up the value. I'll see what the value is.
I just don't think the Vikings are going to be able to get up past 10 unless they trade way too much.
Yeah, it's...
And Alex, if the Vikings were to do that, who are you hoping they get? One of the top 2 tackles?
I would assume you'd have to go up to try and take Slater, right?
Or, yeah, I guess Sewell might slip. It's tough to say how far.
Let's remember, too, there's a chance that Slater gets picked before Sewell. It wouldn't be ridiculous.
No.
Not by any means.
So 200, 140, and 111. So that's 440. So that's 1,550 is what the value of those 3 picks would be, technically. I know I don't have that pulled up. But then it looks like,
But you pick 7,
pick 7.
1,500.
So that would be the value of that.
Alex wants Sewell or Slater, either one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And to me, those are the only two you would give up that much to move up for.
definitely.
He agrees.
All right. Star Lamar.
I know they signed Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne, but I do think they need more wide receiver help. Devonta Smith can do it all.
Die.
So I'm going to go with Devonta Smith to the Patriots.
Yeah, Devonta Smith should we just take a quick commercial break here and a little timeout, or should we just keep it rolling?
And they see the draft board still?
Yeah, they can see
perfect.
the draft board. That's still up. It's just the camera, and they don't want to look at our faces anyways. There's one on the ground there. That one should be charging up.
We kind of made mention of it earlier today. The Cardinals are sneaky here for possibly taking a running back.
I can't see it.
And I'm not going to have them draft a running back because I don't believe they will. But I did want to mention it on cast. I think the Cardinals here are pretty happy because there's 2 cornerbacks and they like them both. But I think Arizona's going to draft J.C. Horn here at pick number 16, leaving Caleb Farley as the top available player on the Draft Network's draft board. J.C. Horn goes to Arizona at pick 16.
He was also on the Hey Rookie, Welcome to the NFL.
I don't think it would be ridiculous to see J.C. Horn drafted as the number 1 cornerback either. He's picking up a lot of steam.
Caleb Farley, man.
I know. I still am in on Caleb Farley being the best cornerback in this group. But I'm drafting the same way Star's drafting, as in if I was the GM of this team, I'm drafting what I think they would do, not what I would do.
And J.C. Horn, he's a dog. He's a hell of a player. They lost Patrick Peterson. They need somebody. They'd have Horn, Uda Baker, Isaiah Simmons.
Solid
That'd be
secondary.
a very solid secondary.
Byron Murphy.
Yes. So that now brings us to the Raiders, one of the most enigmatic teams in the NFL draft at pick 17 with a lot of talent on the board.
So we have 2 needs that I'm really like. Well, 3 technically. Offensive tackle, but I don't like who's available sitting here at 18 or 17. I want to get a cornerback or an edge rusher. So I'm looking at Jalen Phillips. I like him a lot. I think that would be a move that Chucky would make because he's an athletic guy with question marks, and that just seems to be his MO. But I'm going to take the other athletic guy with question marks. I'm going to take Caleb Farley. I'm going to get a secondary here. I know you wanted him, but they need to help stop. They have Justin Herbert going against them. Who do we take at 9 again? Did we take a quarterback? Justin Fields is now going to be going against them, and how can we forget about Patrick Mahomes? So they need to have somebody on that secondary that can cover the wide receivers and help stop those guys from scoring 100 points on them.
I think the better way to attack it would be to get an edge rush over a cornerback to help mitigate those quarterbacks. But Caleb Farley to Oakland or Las Vegas makes a lot of sense.
You really think with Crosby, Farrell, and fucking guy they just signed, played for the Vikings for 6 games.
Ngakoue?
Yeah.
Ngakoue? You think they're in like dire need of
No,
edge rush?
No, I'm just saying. I think if you're trying to minimize a quarterback's impact on a game, the best way to do it is with an edge rush, not a cornerback. But I think Caleb Farley makes sense here. I don't think they're going to take a edge rusher in the first round.
Now I'm up with the Miami Dolphins, and the question is not about where we're picking; it's who we're picking. No, I'm sorry, I meant edge rusher. Sorry, that's what I meant. We're not picking between any other positions. We're looking at Kwity Paye or Jalen Phillips. Phillips had a really, really decent pro day. Kwity Paye just seems a little bit flashier for me.
He's definitely a safer pick.
Safer pick?
Phillips has got the concussion issues. I think he's retired once from football already.
Yep.
He likes music.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the Michigan edge rusher. We're taking Kwity Paye.
Kwity Paye.
First edge rusher off the board?
I believe so. Yep. First defensive lineman off the board, which we're kind of bumming here.
I think this makes for a pretty solid selection here for the Chargers.
I don't know. I'm a little unsure. I'm feeling like we're going to be going with Jalen Phillips because I do want to get an edge rusher. Other side of Bosa, I wanted Paye because I wanted payday.
Remember, though, you got a
Bosa
young
bomb.
quarterback in Las Los Angeles.
I'm not a huge fan of who's available sitting here at offensive tackle. Tevin Jenkins is a right tackle at heart, who they want to swing to left tackle, but he's more dominant on the right side. So obviously that would help, but it doesn't help his blind side. I do think we're going to try and get this defense bolstered up a little bit. We're going to take a little bit of a chance. We are going to get an edge rusher. We're going Jalen Phillips, 19 to the Chargers.
I just think with a team that suffers injuries all the time, that is about the worst pick they could ever make.
It's a Chargers thing to do, okay?
No, I mean, I like the pick. Don't get me wrong, but
they just one will replace the other between him and Bosa. When
they
one's
might,
out, the other one's
they
in.
might get a full season between the two.
Yeah.
So Alex is curious who
Hopefully.
all of our top edge rushers would be.
So my top edge rushers, quite frankly, is about how the Draft Network has the board set up. I think your top
Phillips?
two are Jalen Phillips, Kwity Paye. I do like Ojulari, but I think he's third on my list.
And he's a outside linebacker.
He's a
right?
3-4 OLB, yeah. But yeah, I mean, to me, those are the top two that have with a bullet first round grade on them.
See, and I almost would prefer the second round guys, the Away and Russo.
Yep.
Those two guys with that much potential.
Yep.
Could be so good. And I don't know if I'd risk it on Paye, who'd measured in 2 to 3 inches shorter than what he was listed at in college, and Jalen Phillips, who had the history with the concussions and the retirement and all that stuff. Where I would rather in the second go with an Away or a Russo is where my mind is at. If I was speaking as the Vikings there, I don't know.
The thing that you can't overlook with Kwity Paye is his motor. His motor is like Everson Griffin. If you're a Vikings fan, you know Ev Griffin always played with a high intensity. Kwity Paye plays with a very, very high motor, high intelligence, not quite as athletic, especially in his measurables as Jalen Phillips, but the dude brings it every single snap. And that's why he's got my number one defensive end grade on him.
And I like both of them. I like Paye and I like Phillips, but I think Paye is going to be a safer pick.
Okay.
Or is it Paye? I think it's Paye.
Kwity Paye.
Kwity Paye.
Paye,
That's
yeah.
what I've heard, yeah.
So I think Paye's a safer pick. After that, I mean, I like that Bashman Jr. guy.
God, this
He's
is
good.
just the worst.
Joe Tyron's not
fucking
bad.
mock draft for the purple. If this happens, I will be so defeated.
So you will be drinking on draft night.
Hey,
That's
we
okay.
got a second. We got a second.
Whatever, dude.
All right. Next.
And that second could be Rousseau or
Whatever,
it could be
man.
a solid edge rusher, man.
I don't even care anymore.
Next up, I believe is
If we don't take OVT, you're pissed off.
Yeah. No, I'm not
AVT.
pissed off. I'm not pissed off. There's a lot of
Elijah-
players
A?
the Vikings could draft that I would be okay with.
Oh, Elijah Bear Tucker.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you right now, who's on the board and available for when we pick, I don't think I love them.
Yeah.
Well, before we get there, we have another NFC North. The Bears. Scott, it is your pick.
Yeah, the Bears are the Bears. They are going to panic here because they're watching all of the potential that they would have drafted go off the board. The Bears are going to draft with this pick. I don't know.
You've had 20 picks to think about it.
I know. This is a potential, I think, where the Bears would try and trade down. And I think a team that could try and move up would be Baltimore, because Baltimore's got a lot of draft capital after trading Orlando Brown. And it's been talked that Baltimore has their heart set on a wide receiver with one of these two picks. Although I've had a little bit of a change of heart. I had Rashad Bateman kind of penciled in as a pick for Baltimore, but I got another guy that I think Baltimore might be looking at the end of the first. So I'm going to just stay here with Chicago taking this pick, and they're not going to trade it. And I think they're going to draft here. What is this, the fourth cornerback off the board if they take Greg Newsome? A little bit of a surprise pick. They're going to draft Greg Newsome, cornerback, Northwestern.
Oh, he
Pick
can't
20.
go to Green Bay now.
Oh, man. No, I like that pick. They just lost Kyle Fuller in free agency. They need to get somebody to help that out.
And so now
Keep
they
that
have
defense strong.
Greg Newsome, and who is the corner that they drafted last year? Johnson,
Which team?
the Bears.
Oh, yeah, from Utah.
Yep. So they have two nice young cornerbacks in that defense, bookending their front seven. Then their front seven is still elite. So the Bears are happy. The Vikings now at pick 21 after trading back from 14.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good at all. Let's go back to the whole board. We want absolutely bamboozled by the Colts. Should have taken AVT. But looking at this board here, you got to feel like they.
I think Azeez Ojulari here is an option because I think Zimmer might see in him what he saw in Barr and a guy that could play a lot of different positions. But to be honest with you, Ojulari is more athletic than Barr was. He'd be a possibility here.
Barmore doesn't make sense. I don't really think a Collins makes sense unless you move Barr to more kind of a rushing linebacker.
And Barr doesn't fit the mold for a rushing linebacker.
Well, he does, but he'd be more of a D end in this scheme.
Another possibility here would be, if you go down a little bit, would be Trayvon Moehrig as safety. Not the sexiest pick, but this class, he's
the best
with
one.
a bullet, the
By
best
far.
safety in this class.
And
Now,
they missed out on a really good player in Winfield Jr. last year.
yes, they did. I think he'd be a little bit of a surprise pick here if they drafted him, but with the way this draft has fallen for the purple, it's a possibility. And I really do like Moehrig as a prospect.
I know what you guys are thinking.
What are you gonna do, Rick?
Yeah, I'm thinking F me.
Slick Rick. What do you got? What do you got on your mind?
The only way to battle a terrible defense is to have an even better offense. So to pair with Justin Jefferson, we're going to go with Minnesota's own Rashad Bateman.
I don't know that would be the pick if they actually took a wide out here. I think they would go Elijah Moore.
You're committed to that?
I'm not exactly committed to that. No.
Well,
I like it.
I'm about to hit the plus button.
Do it.
It's definitely
Do
not
it.
a need.
Time is running out, and your pick
do
is
it.
going to expire.
It's
Who are you
it's
picking?
fine.
Rashad
Bateman.
Hey, what year was that the Vikings missed like 3 picks because their time kept
That
running
was
out?
Kevin Williams' year.
Yeah,
It was
Oh,
and it ended up
2005,
great for
I
us.
think.
Yeah.
0405?
04, yeah. Or 03, maybe.
Yeah, it might have been 03
Yeah. I just heard about it today. I should remember.
on the PA.
And that was like we had a trade with the Ravens, but the Ravens never sent it in or some shit like that, and they ended up with T-Sizzle, so it ended up good for them too and for us.
And Kevin Williams is like a borderline Hall of Fame player. He was a stud for
Suggs
us for a
is
lot of
gonna
Very,
be
years.
very good.
a Hall of Fame, and it was
Yeah.
a quarterback. I think is who they wanted to go grab.
Yeah.
This is what I like to see.
So now the
Are you
There-
drinking?
It never fails.
He
We
might
one day,
be.
Alex.
we run a mock draft and we get shade thrown at Gage's rage. It never fails.
Yeah, that comes with the territory of being Gage's rage.
You can't get rid of it that easy. You need to defend yourself here. It doesn't go away.
Alex, I
I'm
should have
sorry,
taken
but-
AVT at 14. That's what I would have done if I could do this over again.
I'm sorry, you guys, but if this is the way this draft goes for the purple, Spielman might be out
it's
of a
the
job.
first round. Calm down, okay?
I'm just saying.
He's a large physical guy to go with our speedster and our veteran. It's not a terrible idea. And you go all in on your boy Kirk Cousins, okay?
No,
How do
all
you-
in would have been Elijah Vera Tucker.
Yeah, okay.
But nonetheless,
Now I'm up with Tennessee.
You're up
Back-to-back
again,
picks.
yeah.
Yes. I'm going to look at the interior defensive lineman, Christian Barrymore.
I like that pick.
Gives him help on the defensive side of the ball
which they need.
desperately.
Yep. And a lot of people have him as their number one interior D lineman in this draft. So solid pick.
So now you go to the Jets, who have
They have to take that number 2 quarterback pick.
Yep.
So many holes. They're going to look at moving back. So pick 27, trying to move up.
Yes.
Would they take 27 and a 4?
Yeah, that's a good point, Alex. That's a good point.
I don't believe so. I think it would take 27 and a 3, but we'll see here.
So the Ravens are going to be offering to the Jets to move up.
Would have traded
27
up there.
and their best fourth for 23. Looks like they would do it.
Let's move up.
Are you going to shake hands with yourself? All right. It's written in blood. Jets have accepted.
See, now just being able to know that it tells you, start low and work your way up. Like maybe I could have got a 5th. They're going to take Azeez Ojulari, get some defensive end help. They did lose Matt Judon to the Patriots, and they lost Ngakoue. So now they get to replace him with a rookie pass rusher, outside linebacker. Let's go.
Scott up at 24. They do need an edge rusher. Definitely.
And Alex brought up, if I was Minnesota at 21 with that board, I probably could have fielded a call from Baltimore myself.
Trade back to Bateman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely could have.
Yep.
But
I
I'm
hate
not
to
your
do this
GM.
to the
I can't
steel
give you that
curtain.
information.
Because we've been on this like fucking gangbusters, but I just think it's going to be Najee Harris. Like, if Paul's still watching, Paul, based on this board, who are they taking? Because I don't want to do it to you again, my man. But this is just...
It was a thought for the Jets to steal it from you and then make you pick someone else, but they got a 4th rounder to use on a running back now.
I really struggle with this right now in the sense of anything other than Najee Harris. I feel like they're going to try and go with a running back to preserve Big Ben because he got burnt out last year. And I don't love any of the cornerbacks on the board. The cornerbacks have all gone.
Tackle. They need an offensive tackle, too. So you could see like Jalen Mayfield going here or something. They could wait until the second to take a guy, too. But I see it as either a tackle or a running back.
All right, let's do this. The Steelers like big, nasty offensive linemen. They're going to draft Tevin Jenkins.
And they're shifting that guy over to left tackle.
We'll see what they do. Villanueva is still out there.
Yep, he's a free agent.
So they may bring him back, keep Jenkins at right tackle for a year. We'll see.
All right, so now the Jags are on the clock again. Man, this is rough, but easy choice. We're going to go with Trayvon Moore. We're going to go to safety. Last year we took C.J. Henderson as our first round.
I absolutely adore that pick for Jacksonville.
It's
so
good.
cute. I adore
It is
it.
beautiful.
Oh,
Aw.
like a puppy.
It's almost as cute as Winston.
Paul does say that at the end of the day, he does trust Kevin Colbert.
Do you trust Kevin Colbert, though, if he drafts Najee Harris, Paul, or are you
Is that the last
spam
straw?
emailing the front office of Pittsburgh? Because I really think it's going to be Najee Harris. I really, really do. Who do you guys think is the lock of the draft, the best overall player, and in 10 years we'll look back and say he was the best? I think it's Trevor Lawrence, hands down.
It has to be.
I've had the same name come out of my mouth every time we've talked about this, and I
Justin
think it's
Fields.
going to be Justin Fields.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think I got to lean Lawrence too.
Yeah.
Yep, I got to go with him.
There's so much.
There's so much pressure.
Yeah.
Number one pick. I feel like you have a
What-
way better opportunity for a skill position guy to come out of this.
One thing I will add to your guys' point is that the number one picks don't really win the Super Bowl. It hasn't been since it was Eli and Peyton, I think, were the last two number one overall picks to win. And now they've won recently, but they haven't been drafted since, 98 and 04 were the 2 years. So every first overall pick that was a quarterback has not won a Super Bowl since then. Only a handful of them even made it to the Super Bowl.
And I was thinking just quarterbacks there with that question.
You didn't think about any other
I was
player?
too, but I mean,
I kind of my
I'm-
gut tells me Farley has got all the things about a cornerback that I would love. If he can just keep it on the field, I think in 10 years you could look back and go, wow, whoever got him was a steal. He was drafted as the third cornerback in the first round behind two guys that had pro dads.
I think I would go Kyle Pitts as a non-quarterback. I think he's got the intangibles.
but does that happen often with tight ends, though? I mean,
No, it doesn't, but have we seen a tight end like him?
no, we haven't, and that's why I love him so much.
He's just, he's not even a tight
Do you
end.
love
He's an
him or do you
outside
love
weapon.
him?
He's my
He-
number 2 on
He
my top
adores
100.
him so much.
He's adorable. What
He's
a
my
little
number
guy.
2 rated player in this draft class.
I know. I think
That's
Slater's special too.
Paul does add that if we were to run like we did in the old days, he'd be all in on Najee with Pittsburgh.
That's fair. I think
Yeah, Ben can't stretch the field like he used to be able to. So stretch handoffs are a little bit tougher.
Yep, and he did add that.
I know I stole it from him. All right. We're up next. We have number 2 pick, Gage's Rage. You're on the clock. Well, 26, but you're the number 2 in the order.
Yeah, so isn't that your pick?
No, I picked for the Jaguars.
This is whoever was 3 in line.
You sure?
That's you.
No, I think it's 2, isn't it?
3 is Star.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure
Star
this-
picks 27.
Yeah, so it's 2.
Yeah, so it's Gage.
I'm
Gage.
3.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gage's Rage, you're up.
Okay.
And you get the Browns.
This is a
Very
no-brainer.
bad.
and the Bills.
This is a no-brainer for the Browns, in my opinion.
They're running up for Zayvon Collins.
Yeah. That's one of the
Sprinting.
that's one of the easiest.
And
picks to make.
actually, I think they missed the draft card.
Owosu?
Nope, they missed the draft card. They didn't get in time, and so Jets are coming up.
I was still
And
looking
they
at
were
the clock.
going to select Zayvon Collins.
They would have.
They got their captain on their offensive side, the leader. They lost their emotional leader on their defense last year via trade in Jamal Adams. And I don't know how these guys are emotionally. They might not be it, but a lot of times middle linebackers are the lead of a defense. And that's why I'm picking Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah to the Jets. They got an early second to go get another position.
I
Extra
like
fourth.
that. I like that a lot. I don't think he's that much farther away from Parsons. I have JOK as my number 2 linebacker. I think he can do multiple things. He's not just a linebacker. He can be like a pseudo safety. He can move around. He's athletic, fast, strong. That's a good pick for them. And pairing him with Blake Cashman,
Blake
what could
Cashman,
go wrong?
with Blake Cashman, probably an injury of some sort, but
Okay, that's fair. I heard they're
talent-wise,
shopping.
he's the best linebacker in the league.
They're apparently shopping CJ Mosley now too.
Are they?
Yep, is what I heard. So it's a possibility they shop him.
I forgot CJ Mosley was even on the team because he didn't play this last year.
Yep. So they could be moving on from him, which means that they would have a glaring need at linebacker.
Linebacker.
This pick 28 for New Orleans, the more I look at mock drafts, the more I deep dive players, this is pretty much a no-brainer. The New Orleans Saints, with pick 28, are going to draft a very, very, very dynamic playmaker. Elijah Moore from Ole Miss is going to be drafted by the Saints at pick 28. And might I add, a perfect fit into that offense to be the yin to Michael Thomas's yang.
Speedster, dynamic. They'll have him, Michael Thomas.
When you have an
Kamara.
offense that includes him, Thomas, and Kamara, that's a dynamic offense for whatever quarterback is running behind center.
You still have Taysom Hill, who can do multiple
Very
things
successful
too.
with that.
Absolutely.
Around him.
I like it. Oh, fuck. Does that mean I'm the... Damn it.
That's what that means.
All right.
All right, sort punters, worst available.
Yeah, where are the punters on this list? Now, I could go a Gage's Rage route and take a player that I don't really think they're going to be taking because, fuck the Packers. But if I am going to be picking for them, I think another running back or a quarterback just makes sense here. Give Jordan Love some competition for that number 2 spot. Maybe fight Aaron Jones for that big contract that he just got. Maybe steal some money from him.
No, he's fighting with A.J. Dillon
Well,
for the next big contract.
No, this guy's going to take over Aaron Jones' spot. But in all reality, if they are in win now mode and they want to get Aaron Rodgers a Super Bowl before he gets out of there and they're going to lose their window, they're going to go with Kadarius Toney. They're going to go with the speedster out of Florida. They need another guy to pair up with Devonta Adams. Robert Tonyan looked good last year. Aaron Jones obviously has been playing well the last couple of years, so they needed somebody. I feel sick to my stomach making the pick. It feels gross. It feels wrong, but I think that's what's going to happen. And
I actually like that pick a lot for Green Bay, which really sucks.
Oh, the way this board is shaking out for Buffalo.
Yeah, that's a good point by Paul
Buffalo.
regarding Trevor Lawrence. Is it you got to see how Urban Meyer adapts to the pro game before you'd say Trevor Lawrence. But everywhere that Urban Meyer's ever been, he's produced winning teams. He usually leaves the program in better hands than he came into it. And let's remember as well, Urban Meyer's not the head coach in Jacksonville if Trevor Lawrence isn't available. Urban Meyer went to Jacksonville because Trevor Lawrence was going to be the pick. So I think it's a good match.
Lawrence has been the number 1 quarterback since he's been like 14.
Yes.
He's been projected to be that number 1 guy for a very long time. I have a lot of faith in him. I think the good quarterbacks can outproduce average coaches.
I would be interested as well, Paul, if you had to answer that question from Dustin, who's the lock to be the best player in the next 10 years from this draft class, who would you write down to be the lock?
As we wait, we'll go up to pick 30. The Buffalo
Bills. They were really close to making it all the way. The Chiefs had a little bit more firepower, and I think they were balanced just a little bit more on offense. So this may be a shocking pick. It just with my gut. Their running game is so brutal. I hate Singletary. I hate Moss.
You're going to pick Najee Harris?
I'm going to take Najee Harris. I mean, you got Stephon Diggs. They sorted it out with Josh Allen. All they need is a running game. Their defense is really strong. They sure could use a cornerback, probably another edge rusher. They're getting older for sure. But you got to go for offense. Offense is what wins championships.
No, defense wins championships. That's the saying.
Shut up, Siri.
I mean, if you look at in past years, last year, the Bucs had the better defense and outproduced the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
Yeah, but I thought the saying was Tom Brady wins championships.
Well, okay. I never thought of it that way. The Broncos, they won that Super Bowl based off their defense. They lost the Super Bowl to the Seahawks because the Seahawks defense, the defenses win championships.
I just want to say regarding the Bills, Najee Harris is not going to be what gets you to the Super Bowl.
No?
But if they want to draft him, I don't think it's ridiculous to think they might.
It would elevate the running game quite a bit. And I think in a championship game where they really had a lot of opportunity to finish the game, run the ball out, it could have done a lot of things.
We definitely
Listener
have some
Scott
hate here.
says JFC Cage's Rage. My God, man.
That guy sounds like he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
He doesn't.
That's fair. We did have an answer from Paul. He said Pitts,
Ooh.
Yeah.
which I think is fair.
He is a matchup nightmare, and he's definitely the most unique player in the draft class. So,
It's a tight end.
yep.
That's
All
my
right.
opinion on.
Yeah,
Like
he's
what?
long.
Vernon Davis might have been the last first round that high sought after tight end that actually did what people thought he was going to do. It's been a long time.
Yeah, but let's remember,
Would
if
you even-
Pitts has an absolute parallel career to Vernon Davis, it's going to be tough for any player to have a better career than that. It's possible, like that would put you in the running for best player in this class.
Yeah.
31 Ravens, Star
Me.
Lamar.
I know teams don't typically like to do this, but the Vikings did it last year and it worked out for them. And that is drafting a player with a traded pick to replace the position that you traded away. But I think they're going to look to replace Brown with this pick here. You know, save some money going into the future. They couldn't afford him. Alex Leatherwood is there. Sam Cosme's there. There's a guy from Stanford that I like too, but he's probably way down on the list. What I read, he hasn't played in a couple of years,
I have no
which is alarming.
Yeah, I'm not sure who you're talking about. So
Not there at all. I'm just going to go with Leatherwood.
now you like some wood?
Foster Sorrell or Serrell,
I don't think that's it.
because he's from Stanford. He's number 506 though, so he might not be that low.
I like the offensive tackle pick a little bit more.
Walker
If, like,
Little,
Walker Little.
Okay.
If Tevin
he is
Jenkins,
rated as the Draft Network's player number 156.
156.
so he's down there.
Definitely, probably not a first round pick, but look for him later in the draft.
Yeah, I would like Tevin Jenkins there more if he was available, but they do need to replace that guy. So for sure.
So when you're the Bucks at pick 32, you're playing with house money. They don't have any immediate needs. So they're just going to take a player that they think can help them now, develop into a nice player. I think that they're going to take a stab at Jason Owe, edge rusher, Penn State.
All right. He's an
Maybe the
athletic freak,
replacement
too.
for JPP eventually.
Yes.
Yep. He's tall. The dude ran like a 4.35 40 or something like that. Now, all 40s are a little faster this year, but still, nonetheless, Stephen clock something near that high
He's
is
a quick man.
it's damn impressive.
That was
After we
definitely
get off the live, can we bang through round 2? Can we keep it up, or do we have to start from the beginning?
We'd have to do a 2-round mock.
Dang it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
There's a lot of names that would be fun just to rip through one quick.
I posted a mock draft that I ran this afternoon when I got home from work, so revved up, that had the Vikings trading down, getting Elijah Vera Tucker, and then in the second they turned back around and got Gregory Rousseau.
Ooh. That'd be like
Hey,
cream
dude,
my shorts.
You got to stop that. I can't stand up.
Yeah, pull that up on Twitter really quick. Go over to Twitter and pull that up for the viewers.
Mm.
It's going to be at
Not
top.
the one that says Pornhub.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
not
don't
that
do that
link.
link.
Okay. All right. Avoid.
Don't do that link, dude.
That says Vikings fans get fucked over again. What's that say?
Here it is. Here's the mock draft. I like this
All right.
pick.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. The camera died again. We'll get this figured out. We'll pull it up, and then Be wrapping up.
Just really quick, we'll show you guys this mock draft because this is a good one for the purple. And I know we are mostly Minnesota fans. So the Vikes traded down.